Welcome back everyone, I'm Kev Plays Games and it's time for another run through of FTL. So let's click new game and pick a ship. We have been working our way through the ships in order. Last time out we did the Slug, and after the Slug it's the Rock Cruiser Type A. It's a fairly large and bulky ship with 2 sets of airlocks at the front and back and no others. This central corridor is a little bit of a pain because, as you see, there is a spine running down the middle that you can't cross, so to get from one side of the ship you either have to go to the back and then round, or to the front and then round. And that's bad because we have nothing but rock crew members. They're very slow to move, so in emergencies you need to try and plan ahead and make sure someone is already moving before the emergency happens, so good luck with that. Rocks have 150 health, they're immune to fire, but their movement speed is very slow. Weapons wise, we're beginning with 2 missile launchers, an Artemis missile which does 2 damage, and a hull missile which also does 2, but that is doubled if we fire at empty rooms on enemy ships. So that's really a 4. Most enemies have empty rooms, some don't, but most do. Now the problem we're going to run into here is that both of these, A, they can be shot down by enemy defense drones, so that's really bad, and B, they consume ammunition, and we're going to run out of ammo really quickly. So the name of the game with the Rock Cruiser is find a laser weapon as soon as you can. We do begin with this rock plating augmentation, provides a 15% chance to negate incoming hull damage, but the system in the room will still be damaged. So say for example they hit the shields will be damaged, but there is a 15% chance that we will not lose any hull damage. It's alright, but to be honest, most rock players just sell that as soon as they can so they can buy a gun, so they don't have to keep using missiles. But anyway, let's click start and begin the game. We all know the drill. The data we're carrying is vital to the remaining Federation fleet because the Federation has been invaded by the evil rebels, and we are trying to get to Federation HQ to warn them about the fleet that we've seen. So let's go. I think we'll leave 1 in piloting, 1 in engines, because you need someone in piloting. Engines is good for evasion, evasion's 15, and we'll put 1 guy in weapons and just leave him here. Power wise, we actually start quite well. So it looks like we can have both the weapons and some more power in engines, so that puts our evasion up to 20, so that's quite nice. Let's have a look. Oh, there's a store right here. Oh, that's annoying. We could go straight to the store and sell the rock plating, and that would give us, what, 40? Which would give us 70, but I'd rather not do that. And we can't go to this ping and in the store, because then that would mean having to come here, and then that doesn't link to anywhere other than where we've been. That store being there is really quite unfortunate. I don't want to go here, because then that will restrict us to coming up here. So I think we'll just go for this one, and then go up, and then around, and hope there's another store somewhere here. We'll probably just try and collect scrap in this sector, and spend it in the next one. You receive a request. All of our military ships have been destroyed or damaged during the rebellion. However, there have been reports of a Mantis Warcamp just a few jumps away. Can you help? Yeah, we'll see what we can do. And they gave us 24 scrap and gave us a quest marker, which is all the way up here. That's okay, we can go up there. We were kind of going to head up that way anyway, so let's go up this way. The shortest route is the shortest route's actually here, so we can go there, then straight down. And then kind of noodle around up here. But I think we've got time to go here, then there, and then come down. You stumble across a forward scout of the rebel fleet. Right, they're going to try and charge your weapons and escape. Now you do notice at the top left, we only have 28 ammunition. Okay, they are indeed powering up their FTL. To stop that FTL, we're going to take our Artemis and shoot it in their piloting. A, that's going to stop their FTL so they cannot escape, and B, it will reduce their evasion to 0, and that then means that our massive hull missile can hit one of their 2 empty rooms, and that will take 4 hull away from this thing. They do have a missile of their own, that's a bit of a problem. We're just going to hope our 20 evasion's good enough, or it hits something that's not critical. And a heavy laser Mark 1 which cannot get through our single shield bubble. Okay, let's see how fast they want to charge up. Their FTL should be fairly slow to charge because this is sector 1. Okay, they hit an empty room with their missile. I'm going to wait until our hull missile's just about ready to go. That'll do. Right, piloting please. Oh, god damn. Right, we're going to have to waste our hull missile on shooting their piloting. Their laser shot down that missile. That's really annoying. Okay, in that case what we're going to do is break their weapons with our own Artemis and then hull missile them and hope that they haven't repaired the piloting. Which they have. Okay, now we just need to hope that no, we're going to wait for the Artemis. Well, we wasted lots of missiles on this one. And now the hull missile will finish them off. Piloting's down, their evasion's 0. Now we wasted 5 missiles on that, and that was terrible. The ship breaks apart, and you are relieved to know that you're still one step ahead of the fleet. That gave us 1 fuel, 1 missile, so we lost 4 missiles on that encounter, and another 20 scrap. The scrap is good. Now usually, what I would do... I'm not sure. Usually what I would do is spend the first 50 scrap we get on getting level 2 shields. Because if we get level 2 shields, we could potentially keep 2 shield levels up if we just turn the oxygen off. And one of the engines. Or we've got 74 scrap, so we can get the second layer of shield, that's 50, then a power bar. Then all we would need to do is to remove one from the engine, and then have 2 shields up. Or we can hope to find a store. I mean, this is the thing with the rock cruiser. You're trying to balance out saving money because you know you need to buy a laser. Or, if you can't find a laser, you need to buy lots more missiles, ammunition-wise. So, I think I probably will do the shield thing. Let's just do it. Level 2 shields is just too overpowered at this stage of the game. There we go. Now we're immune to half the enemies we'll face. Well, in theory at least. Another unmanned ship patrols this area. You prepare the ship for combat, and this is one of the annoying ships which has no empty rooms. But we are now immune to this ship because we spent the money on the shields, because this is a little laser, it's going to take down 1 shield. This is a beam drone that will not be able to get through the remaining shield, so we are invincible to this thing. Again, if I wanted to completely choose the game, we could just turn our engines off. That would put us to 0 evasion, and then this little thing would constantly hit the shield and not be able to do anything, and anyone we put in shields would be trained up. Or we can depower the Artemis missile and stick it in engines to put the evasion up, and then 20% of the time this will miss, and it'll put the training of both the pilot and the engine person up, which will of course increase the evasion even more. But I'm not going to do that because it's boring. Let's just smash the piloting with the Artemis. Or miss, because auto scouts have an annoying amount of evasion. Let's try again with the hull missile. There we go. Now, the good thing about our missiles is that they both have a chance to do a breach, and if you've watched this game before, you'll know that if you can breach a room in an auto scout, they cannot repair themselves, because auto scouts automatically repair all their systems. Let's go for the engines next. Break as many of this thing's systems as we can. The evasion's 0 now because we've destroyed the piloting, so that's good. Auto scouts have an annoying amount of evasion, even this early on. Okay, the ship explodes, leaving behind us air quotes substantial collection of useful scrap material in the form of 2 more fuel, 2 more missiles, and 21 more scrap. Right, up to 21 missiles, so we're 7 down from where we started the game, because you start with 28. Let's have a look at this Mantis Warcamp. You can't do anything here, you just have to leave. Sometimes there's a fight when you're trying to run away. You find the Mantis encampment, but there are far too many of them to count accurately. You send a long-range message back to the settlement with your findings, and unfortunately, there's not much you can do. It would be suicide to attack directly. Well, we can pick a fight by bombarding their key structures, so let's do that. We'll expend 1 missile. You fire at their fuel depot, but a shot from the surface rips the missile to shreds. They must have a planetary defense system set up already. You try to get away, but a nearby patrol ship moves in to attack. And here we go. Okay, they have a little laser which will take down 1 shield, and a heavy laser which will hit the remaining shield. And they have, luckily for us, no boarding stuff at all. They do not have a teleporter, so we're immune to this ship. Again, I could, if I wanted, depower the Artemis, power up the engines, and then wait for both lasers to miss us all the time, and then we'd get lots more training. Do you see, Remo has 1 training out of 15 for the next level. Now he has 2 because they just missed. And Air 2 also has 2, because when the enemy misses, both piloting and engines get a skill. So that's 3 misses now. I'm not going to hang around here, let's just kill him and move on. So Artemis in the piloting to break that. Their evasion is now 0. Hull missile in an empty room. This will kill them actually, okay. So this has cost us 3 missiles to kill these guys. 1 to get their attention, and 2 to kill them. With the patrol ship destroyed, you hasten to leave. It won't be long before the other ships catch up. So we got 1 missile back, so it cost us 2 missiles for that encounter, and we got 1 drone and 24 more scrap. Okay, there's a store here. How many pings are we away from the exit? If we go to the store, we have to go to this one or this one, and then that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the enemy fleet is still really far away. I think we can go backwards and do this one, and then the store, and then just race to the exit. Try and get some scrap here, go to the store, buy some lasers. Scanners indicate that a battle is taking place nearby. It seems that someone is under attack by space pirates. Well, let's aid the civilian ship. You power up your weapons and engage the pirate ship. And they have a little laser, which will take down 1 shield bubble, and a combat drone. Now, combat drones could potentially harm us, as combat drones fly and then shoot, and then fly and then shoot. But the problem is that the distance they fly is random. Sometimes they can do what it's doing now and flying all the way across our ship before it fires again. But sometimes it will fly to here and then it will just fly a couple of pixels over. So it can shoot, fly a very short distance, then shoot again. So rapid fire. So every now and then these things can take down a few numbers of shields. So we are vulnerable to this ship. But I think in order to preserve our missile stocks, I'm just going to missile their piloting to reduce their evasion to 0, and then hit one of these rooms with the hull missile. I'm just going to wait till the hull missile's nearly ready. That'll do. Excellent. And then before they can repair that, let's get the hull missile in there. Take 4 off them, and then a breach. Not that the breach really matters. Artemis is ready to go, so we'll just hit the piloting again. This should kill them if it hits. There we go. The pirate ship breaks apart. You hasten to contact the civilian ship. From the wreckage of the pirate ship, we get 1 missile back, 1 more drone, and another 20 scrap. And let's see what the civilians have for us. Apparently, the ship that was being assaulted was a science vessel. They thank you for saving them and offer a small reward of another 2 fuel, another 1 missile, and 26 more scrap. Nice. So since we started the game with 28 missiles, we've only actually expended 10. That's not bad. A rebel space station and single fighter is monitoring this beacon for Federation activity. A number of civilian ships are docked, awaiting inspection by the rebels and possible detainment if they are Federation loyalists. The rebels haven't noticed you yet. We can hide, we can bribe them, or we can have a fight. Let's have a fight. Let's do number 1. So let's have a look at these guys. Okay, even if we only had 1 shield, we would be completely immune to the ship, because they have a little mini beam. We'll draw a little line across your ship and damage it, but it cannot penetrate shields. And they have a beam drone, which does the same, but also cannot penetrate shields. So these guys literally cannot hurt us, and there's nothing to evade because beam lasers always hit. That's another good thing about beam lasers. So let's do the same as we've been doing. We'll just hit the piloting and then hit this empty room. That's good. That's good. And then we'll just go into piloting again, and that should kill them. 3 missiles expended. Wonderful. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of 1 missile, 1 drone, and 19 more scrap. Okay, we're now down 12 missiles since we began the game, but we do have 114 scrap and a store right here. Fingers crossed for laser guns. The space station here has a travelling merchant who shows you some stuff. He does not have any laser guns. He has an ion bomb and a halberd beam. That is annoying. And a drone control, which does have a defense drone Mark 1. Okay, we have decisions here. This is like the best drone control because it comes with a free defense drone Mark 1, and getting this as early as you can in the game to shoot down enemy missiles is really nice. So I think I'm going to buy that. There, it is bought. We're down to 29 scrap. A system repair drone would be quite nice. I could sell the rock plating and buy a system repair drone. System repair drones will move a lot faster than our rocks, and that'll be really handy for fixing stuff on our ship. So I probably will sell the rock plating, just drag and drop. Do know one thing, is that any purchases made are final. So if we sell this rock plating, we cannot then drag it back out and repurchase it. There, it's gone. Let's buy a system repair drone, and then we'll just leave. Howard beams are nice weapons, because they do 2 damage per room that it hits, and it draws quite a long line. And the way that beam lasers work is that each damage per room is reduced by 1 for every active shield bubble. So this thing can punch through 1 layer of shield, because it does 2 damage per room. If an enemy had 1 shield, it would do 1 damage per room. If it has 2 shields, it would do nothing, and if it had no shields, it would be in a great deal of trouble. Ion bombs are superb weapons, but I'm sure we'll find another one somewhere else. Okay, the next upgrade I really want to do is on the ship, and that is to upgrade the doors from normal doors to blast doors, just in case anyone does manage to sneak aboard. The blast doors stop them being able to run. If you have orange, like the normal doors, they can just run anywhere they want on the ship, and I don't want that because rocks are really slow. So that's how we're going to be. Turning on the defense drone or system repair drone will require power bars, and that may mean some juggling because we don't have very many power bars at the moment, but we have at least upgraded ourselves a little bit. So let's just move on to here and see if that was a good decision or not. You detect a rebel scout on an attack approach to a small refueling outpost. Their weapons are charged, but they're not firing yet. Well, let's intervene and save the outpost. The rebel responds to your threat. I don't know who you are, but no one defies a rebel fleet. They move in to engage. Okay, they have a combat drone Mark 1 and a little tiny beam laser. We are only at risk if this combat drone somehow takes down both shields with one of the little stutter step flies and this fires at the same time. It could happen. I mean, the defense drone's not worth anything, and the system repair drone isn't needed yet, so we'll just do the same. Artemis this. Reduce their piloting to 0. No, we missed. Okay. I don't really want to waste the hull missile, so I'm just going to wait for the Artemis to spool up again. And then we'll go for the piloting again. Now the evasion 0. Now we're going to go Artemis. Bam. And then hull missile, I should say. And then the final Artemis. Oh man, they must have repair drones on that ship because they fixed that piloting very quickly. But didn't do them any good. The ship breaks apart and we quickly salvage 1 fuel, 2 missiles, so that's good. I think we only spent 4 missiles in that encounter and 19 scrap. And let's contact the fuel base, and they indeed give us 4 fuel and 20 more scrap. Excellent. Okay, we're down to 14 missiles. This is not good. Oh dear. I may have made a mistake in the store. You arrive at the beacon and find yourself dangerously close to a star. An automated rebel ship, impervious to the heat, moves in to engage. Okay, next to stars, occasionally it will flare up and set fire to lots of bits of our ship. That's okay, our people won't be damaged, so we can put the fires out easily enough. Luckily for us, this is a very weak ship. It only has 5 hull. It's got empty rooms, so again, we're going to Artemis the piloting, hope it hits, and then hull damage, an empty room. That is an ion weapon. Ion weapons cause ion damage to shields if they hit. And there we are, and that gives you this little ion thing. Each point of ion damage removes 1 power bar from anything it hits, and it lasts for 5 seconds, I believe. Well, they're dead anyway. And ion damage stacks. So if they can get their cycle time faster than the 4 or 5 seconds that ion damage lasts, then they can just keep firing at your shields, firing at your shields, firing at your shields. And the shield power bars will go down faster than the ion timer dissipates. So in theory, something like an Ion Blast Mark II, which only has a 4-second cycle time, can take down an infinite number of shields, in theory, if it hits. So ion weapons are nothing to be sniffed at. They're really rather good. Anyway, before we burn to death, let's get out of here. The ship explodes, leaving behind 2 missiles. That's good. We spent 2 missiles to kill that thing. So neutral, 1 extra drone part, and 24 more scrap. Lovely. You will notice that we cannot jump out immediately. It's because we're in a hazard map. and the hazard is still a threat, so we need to depower the oxygen, power up the engines, because that will get us to warp speed faster. Okay, we took a little bit of burning damage, it's not great. Let's depower the engines, power up the system repair drone. He will go and put the fire out and then fix the doors. I'm just going to wait to jump, because I don't want to jump into a fight when we're still on fire, but we can't stay here too long, otherwise we're going to get set on fire again. There you go, system repair drones work pretty fast. Okay, now we need to go. To get to the exit, could go here, here, then here. 1, 2, 3, yeah. The only other ship at this beacon messages you. Finally, after months of waiting, someone's fallen into a trap. Well, your trap's not very good, because you only have a heavy laser which will take down one of our 2 shields, and a mini beam that only does 1 damage per room, so you can't hurt us. Before we all choke to death because our rooms are getting pink because the oxygen's off, let's depower the system repair drone and turn the oxygen back on. Now this system repair drone is still a physical entity. Anytime we need them, we'll turn them back on. It only costs 1 drone part to spawn drones, not to turn them on. So next time we need them is here. It does only have 25 health, so if the room gets hit, he'll probably explode. Or if anyone teleports on board us and fights it, they'll kill it in about 3 hits. But anyway, they have an empty room, so we're going to do Artemis the piloting, hope it hits. Good, the innovation's 0, they've only got 4 hull left, and this is going to hit them and kill them. So 2 missiles expended here, wonderful. The ship explodes, leaving behind the 2 missiles that we just spent, so that's great. 1 drone and 25 scrap. Cool, nice. Right, this ping and then the exit. There are a number of ships stationed around a rest stop. You immediately receive a message saying, if you're looking for some bodies to fill your ship, you've come to the right place. And it looks like we can hire people at a cut down price. I don't usually hire crew, usually you can find crew just as you play the game. But I think I might... Well, we do have a system repair drone, so maybe we won't buy a crew. I was seriously tempted to purchase Ares at only 27, because Ares is an NG, and NG are extremely fast at fixing things, but then so are system repair drones. So I think we'll just preserve our money and not hire anyone, because we need to find another store and hope it's actually got lasers. Even if it's only got a beam, I probably will buy the beam and use our missiles to destroy the enemy's shields and then fire the beam at them. That's if we can't find lasers. I mean, you never know what you're going to find. Anyway, we've arrived at the long range beacon, which is the exit into the next area. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. Scanners are showing an intelligent life form on a nearby planet. No match to them can be found in the database. Let's investigate this. You land a small shuttle in an enormous field whose only occupants are small, brightly coloured, 6-legged, horse-like animals. Could these be what your scans have picked up? You can try and communicate peacefully, which is usually the best option. None of your attempts to communicate seem to work. They just stare at you silently. As you prepare to leave, one of the creatures canters forward and forcefully nudges you away from the ship. He seems to want you to follow him. Eventually, they guide you to an old NG ship's crash site. Inside, you're able to find and reactivate an NG. So we got 1 missile, 1 drone, 11 scrap, and an NG out of that. Welcome aboard, Mr. NG. You are going to go and work in our shields. A, because it's one of the 4 critical systems, which kind of really needs to be manned. And B, so we've got someone over here at the side of the ship. Because if the oxygen gets broken, he's really close enough to fix it. And we may not need the repair drone now, because the NG can run around and fix things. Excellent. And 103 scrap. Not bad. And we've timed our journey perfectly. The fleet is a pixel away from hitting this ping. So that was absolutely perfect. Onwards to Sector 2. Let's have a look at our sector map. Like, green sectors are guaranteed to have 4 stores on them somewhere. Red ones are guaranteed to have at least 1, I think maybe 2, but there's more fights and more danger. But to be honest, I think we should go for... I was going to say the green one because we really need a store, but Zoltan are a bit of a pain because they've got Zoltan shields, and Zoltan shields block missiles until you chip them away. And chipping them away would mean expending a lot of missiles to take their shields down before we can actually start demolishing their ship itself. So let's go up. Let's go into the red area. There will be stores here. We just need to find them. At one point, this was one of the most commonly travelled sectors. Knowing that, the rebels have stationed a number of fleets here. Be careful. Okay, lots of rebel ships to fight here. There's a distress beacon, but going to the distress beacon will force us to go this way, and then here, and then here. Maybe we could do that and then kind of skirt around. Okay, let's do that, because distress beacons will very often result in giving you a quest marker that you can then go and do for an extra reward, so let's do that. You arrive at the beacon and immediately detect a pirate ship. It seems this distress beacon was a trap. Alright, they have a beam drone which cannot get through our shields, and they have a missile which most definitely can. But I'm clever and I bought a defense drone, so let's power down 2 power bars from our shields, because we know that this thing cannot get through one layer of shield. Let's spawn our defense drone, which has a chance to shoot down the enemy missile. It does not always hit, but it has a really high chance of doing so. They've got an annoying number of hull. Is that 9? And that does 2, and that's going to do 4, so we're going to have to fire at these guys. If you want to preserve missiles 3 times, you can just go hull, 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 or Artemis, hull, hull. And that relies on us hitting each time. And the further you get into the game, the higher evasion the enemy have, so let's hope that this hits the piloting and reduces their evasion to 0. Yes, it did. But what we see here is this little door has just opened, and that tells me that something in the drone bay is running up here to fix it. And that usually means they have a system repair drone, and they work really fast. So let's just get this hull missile on board and do 4 damage to them. Okay, now we have an interesting thing. They say, "You have clearly bested us. We merely request our lives." So they're going to bribe us with 2 fuel, 1 drone part and 15 scrap. And it's going to cost us 2 more missiles to kill these guys. Or 1 if we're going to risk just firing the hull missile and hoping it hits. Because their piloting is going to come back online really quickly. I think I'm going to accept this offer. Take the scrap and leave. We need to maintain our missile stores until we actually find a proper store. You find a rebel automated scout floating near this beacon. Despite its pristine condition, it appears to be deactivated. So if we can download this ship's data stores, it will tell us what each and every beacon on this map is, and then we'll be able to see the stores, so let's try that. You are able to pull all of the ship's data about this sector. Your map has been updated. Excellent. And we get another 1 fuel, 1 drone part, and 15 more scrap as well. And we didn't have to fight it to get to the data. That's wonderful. Okay then, we will not get to that store because we'd have to go backwards and here then here, and by the time we've done that the enemy fleet will have swallowed the store. The only other store is close to the exit. What's this? A sun. Suns we don't care about, we're rocks. So we really kind of need to get to the store as soon as possible. So we'll go here, here, cut through the nebula, because nebulas slow down the fleet. The enemy fleet advances half as fast when we were in nebulas. So we'll go here, here, have a fight, nebula, fight, here, fight, store, here, exit. Let's do it. I know we're getting into a lot of fights, but I'm kind of hoping that A, we can earn more missiles in the fights, and B, get a lot more scrap for the store. You pick up an automated message from a nearby space station. There appears to be a local shipwright that can perform emergency work on military ships. Okay, this is a cheap upgrade. Let's inquire about their speciality. They offer to upgrade your oxygen system in exchange for some scrap. Well, let's agree to the exchange, because that is a cheap upgrade. Usually it costs 25. Right, and our oxygen system is improved by 1 bar. Outstanding. And we could of course just go here, 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 then the store, then the sun, then exit. But I'd rather have some fights and get some more scrap before we get to the store. I mean, empty pings doesn't mean no scrap, it just means no fight. There is a possibility for scrap, but if you get into a fight and win it, you're guaranteed to get scrap. So let's go and get some scrap and hope it doesn't cost 13 missiles. An advanced rebel automated ship remains stationed near a small rebel space station. Sensors indicate it's a storage vessel for military goods. Ooh, we can actually win a laser here, so let's attack the ship to get to the storage cache. Okay, they have no empty rooms. They do, however, have a combat drone Mark 1 and a mini beam, so we're going to have to turn our second layer of shield back on right now. Luckily it recharged fast because there's an NG on board. What we're going to do here is Artemis their piloting, just like so, and then we're going to destroy the mini beam. Because I don't care if this thing keeps firing at me because I've got 2 shields up. Because then at least anytime it hits, Mikhail will get shield skill, and anytime it misses, both Remo and Airtomb will get evasion skill, so I don't really care. As long as the piloting stays off, I don't really care what this thing does. And that big boom you heard was a breach. Now, automated scouts can usually repair all of their systems themselves, but they cannot do it if there's a breach, and they cannot repair breaches. So now, the evasion of this ship is permanently 0 because we've breached its piloting. So again, I could just hang out and just train everybody up, but that's boring. Because on very rare occasions, extremely rare occasions, Combat Drone Mark 1 can do a fire, a tiny move, a fire, then another tiny move, and that will be 1, 2, 3 shots, and that could, in theory, damage us. So let's just flip a hull missile straight into the shields, blow it up, evasion 0, doesn't matter what we hit, it was going to die anyway. That did cost us 4 missiles though. We salvaged 25 scrap from the ship. Let's have a look what was in the station. And it was either abandoned or stripped clean. It's been unused for some time. We find nothing. We're down to 9 missiles. Oh joy. Is 9 missiles enough to win 2 fights? Well, we'll have one fight and see how many missiles we have left then, and then we'll make a decision. We could just run down here, then this door. We'll make a decision after this fight. Your ship emerges quite far away from the beacon. You see a rebel ship awaiting nearby, undoubtedly stationed to look for you. Let's attack them. Let's have a look what they have. Okay, we are avoiding this fight. We are just letting the FTL spool up and we are running away. Why are we doing this? Because they have a goddamn defense drone. And we could, in theory, shoot past it by firing both of our missiles at the same time, because this can only intercept one of them. And then fire at their drone control and try and knock out their defense drone. But that means we'd be down to 7 missiles and only taken 2 hull off it because we'd have only hit this. And then that leaves them with like, what, another 6 or 7 hull? No, we're not doing this. We're just gonna depower the Artemis, power up the engines, and we're just gonna leave. We do not have enough missiles to mess around with enemy defense drones. See, this is the problem you run into with this ship. A, you're running out of missiles. B, the longer you go into the game without having lasers, you meet enemies who have defense drones, and it poses you a big problem. So, thank you and goodbye. Well, if nothing else, Mikhail, Remo and R2 might get a little bit of evasion. Shall we just stay until we get one more miss? It would be nice to get an evasion up. Let's just do that. We'll just hang out until we record one more miss and then we'll go. 20% of the time. Come on, stupid enemy, miss me. It's 3 hits in a row. That's 4, so statistically the next one will be the miss. Nope. Oh well. There are lies and damn lies in statistics. Oh come on dude, just miss me just once, that's all we need. Because then both Remo and Artyom will get the first level of training. And that means our evasion will go up to like 25, I think. Maybe 26. Oh my god. Dude, this is why you need to get your evasion up. Heyo, there we go, 24. Right, we're leaving. And you get this little red triangle to say that, well done, you've managed to start a fight and escape without completing it. Let's have a look what the next lot have. By the time you notice the rebel ship behind the beacon, it's too late to avoid a fight. Okay, now these guys we most definitely can kill. Because they only have a heavy laser 1 and a mini beam. We have 2 layers of shield. They have an empty room, which is lovely. You have 2 empty rooms. So Artemis the piloting, evasion 0, hull missile, empty room, 4 hull damage. And do that until they die. And then we're going to the store. Please hit. Yes. You will hit. Bam. And I'm not going to fire the Artemis. I'm just going to... I wasn't going to fire the Artemis. Decisions. We could try and finish him off with a hull missile in an empty room and hope it hits. If it misses, then we will have to go for the Artemis. Let's just try it. Let's go for the hull missile. Come on, hit. Oh yeah. Minimum of 3 missiles. Excellent. Ship explodes, giving us back 2 of the 3 missiles we just expended. 1 more drone part and another 24 scrap. Lovely. Store. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Show me what you got. You arrive at a small space station that is putting out wideband broadcasts on black market channels. You doubt they would turn away any business, regardless of allegiances. Aha! We have lasers. 2 lasers. The Hull Laser Mark II, which does 3 shots but requires 3 power bars, and that's all the power bars we have. And the Heavy Laser Mark I, which does 1 shot but does 2 damage if it hits a room without shields. Now 2 damage does not mean it will take down 2 layers of shield. It only takes down 1 layer of shield. So I think we're just going to buy both of these because we have to. And then with our remaining 38 scrap, we're going to upgrade the weapon control by 1. So if we can find 4 power bars by depowering something like the oxygen, we could in theory have a Hull Laser 2, which does 3 shots but takes 6 weeks to power up. In fact, it's quicker to power up than the Hull Missile is. So that'll do 3 shots. Heavy Laser will do 1. So that's great. Heavy lasers, very much like Hull Missiles, do double damage on empty rooms. And they both have a chance to do breaches and fires, so they're actually quite devastating weapons. Alright, we found some lasers. The rebel fleet's still quite far away, so we can try and maximise the number of pings we can do. Oh look, looks like we can go here, and then cut back, and then do the sun, and then leave. Let's do that. We've got just about enough fuel. Can we buy 1 fuel from the store? Yeah, okay, now we have. Double figures in fuel, that'll have to do. But we've got lasers. Well done, everyone. There's a small planet nearby with scattered settlements. A small rebel fleet is in orbit, with many ships ferrying back and forth. It must be a more recently liberated planet. Right, so nothing then. Fine. You've arrived at a populated sector. One merchant seems to be mass broadcasting a request for a mercenary ship to aid him. Shall we respond? Yes, because we have no money. I've spent every single penny. He says, great. I was worried no one would respond. My usual carrier is days late. I need you to deliver this cargo of drone parts to a small station a few jumps away from here. We cannot afford to pay another carrier, and they will surely tip you generously. So let's say yes please, because they give us 5 drone parts. Great. I uploaded their location to your star map. I'm running out of options, so I have no choice but to trust you'll do what you agreed to do. And we have a quest marker. Now unfortunately, on this sector... Okay, well that's good. What was going to be a hazardous sun is now the quest. And they're going to pay us for taking the drone parts here. Now, these quest markers are at random, so it could have been up here, in which case that wouldn't have happened, or here, in which case we would definitely not have done it. Even if we fail the quest, we get to keep the 5 drone parts, so who cares? You arrive at the location given to you by the merchant. You're supposed to deliver some drone parts to a station here. You find the small research station and discover it's putting out a distress signal. Strangely, there's no response to your hails. We can dock with the station and investigate, which is risky, anything could happen, or we can leave it alone. Let's be brave. Inside, there are signs of a great struggle. Scientists lie dead where they fell, brutally dismembered. You grab a few research drone parts lying on a desk near the door and leave quickly. We get 1 drone part and 25 scrap, and nothing else. Okay, sometimes someone just dies, or sometimes fires break out, or sometimes people have gone insane and they board your ship and it's just mayhem, but we got away with that. So what I think we should do now is invest in power bars. Yes, we're going to buy 1 power bar, because we've got some power greedy weapons and a defense drone and upgraded shields, all of which need power bars, so investing in power bars is never a bad thing. Right, so let's move on to the exit. You've arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. A nearby space station hails you. Greetings, your arrival is most fortuitous. We recently came across some extra drones. If you have some fuel, maybe we can make a deal. They want to sell us 2 drone parts and it will cost us 4 fuel. No, we have lots of drone parts and we have plenty of fuel. So we're going to reject that offer. And I hope you're not going to reject my offer of you coming back for the next episode, because this is the end of Sector 2. We usually try to do 2 sectors per episode, so that was quite quick. Things are looking alright. We have a drone control with a defense drone and a system repair. Excellent. We have the ability to fire 4 laser shots at the cost of 4 power bars, which we're trying to buy. We've got an extra crewman. We've upgraded the doors. We've upgraded the oxygen. And we'd still quite like to upgrade the sensors and piloting in medbay. A, because it lets us do more things, because the sensors lets us see what the enemy interior looks like. Advanced medbay heals our people faster, and the piloting speeds up our FTL drive and gives us some automatic evasion even if no one's in the piloting room. And upgrading each of these things will also give you additional options in some pings. Like, you will get a special blue option if you have systems upgraded to certain levels, and that's usually the best thing you can do. If our sensors room takes 1 hit at the moment, it will break the sensors, and when something gets broken, you lose a hull point. If we have upgraded it, it will have 2 power bars, and if it gets damaged by 1, it will not be broken, and we will not lose a point on hull, so that's another good reason to upgrade your systems. But anyway, do come back for that, and see how we get on in Sector 3. Until then, do look after yourself, and I'll speak to you again very soon.